buzz. We're gonna make the cutest little bee wreath. Are you ready to buzz with us? Let's get going. We're working with the smaller of 14-inch wreath base to start off our whole design. And the first thing we want to do is kind of create the space we want to use up. And even though this is a small base, I'm going to go way off of it. So start with your greenery. We're going to pull that out right here. And we're going to use our exclusive Keleas.com fishtail fern. I love that I can push this up to totally make this piece a little more clustered at the bottom, but wispy at the top. It's one of the great advantages of using this type of greenery. We're going to cut these down and start to shape out our base. So I'm just going to use my wire cutters, cut those off the stem, and we're going to create what we call our perimeter. When I'm teaching in design school, sometimes we create the perimeter first, sometimes we'll do it with other florals, but today we're going to do it with our, right here with our fishtail. So I'm going to start going way off the design to kind of create this beautiful wispy look. See how far I'm going off? Way off. So we're going to start at the top and work our way around. Let's go back a little bit here and place these in. Now, I'm getting a liberal amount of glue on there, but if I don't have enough glue, it won't stay. So I've got to have a lot of glue. If I can see the glue, when I push it in, let's say it compacts in there, we use that Spanish moss to hide that and also make sure that you can't see it, okay? And it holds it tighter. So here you see a lot of that glue. I've got my bucket of Spanish moss here. I'm going to pull that off. Today we're using the chartreuse green color of our Spanish moss, and all that will be on the supply list for you, okay? So we started at the top, and now we're going to come here down to the bottom, and I'm going to also cascade a lot off the bottom. So we're going to do that right here as well. So don't be afraid to kind of have a smaller base and work off a smaller base even to make a larger project. All right, so I used 6 of these pieces. I got a great shape started. You can see it kind of coming together. It looks excellent. So now our next move is going to be to use our filler flower. So let me move our little bees out of the way. And our filler flower is this. It is a great wispy berry. And so it's going to provide our main color. It's not our main flower. We've got a different item to work as our main flower because we're using those cute bees. So I'm going to take, and we're going to go ahead and shred this dude down. So when you separate a bush like this, one of the nice things about Keleas.com products is I make sure what we carry is easy to break up and work with. Okay, so you see how I separated it? Just tear those down now. Just tear these down into little pieces. And really quickly, look how fast we tear this into separate sections. And now I'm going to cut these babies down by 1 inch, okay? 1 inch stems on everybody and clean that up. Okay, and they're all cleaned off. Pull all this junk out of here. We don't need this. You can save that stem if you want. You can recycle these and use these for picks for other pieces in your designs later, okay? So let's start putting these in. Actually, I need to break up both bushes. Let me just go ahead and do that first. So take your longest pieces that you have, and we want to use those out in between our greenery. So we're going to swirl it here in the glue. And I'm going to go way out to that perimeter. So make sure you're going into that grapevine where it's going to hold it tight. Use a good amount of glue. If you get excess paper, pull that off because we don't need that grabbing our glue. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Let's rock this one way up here and put a little moss in. If you start to do this moss technique, you'll kind of learn it can help hold things in like a looser design. So play with that. That's something I teach in design school. You guys can use that also. If you haven't jumped in our class yet, we would love to have you. Every week I'm teaching in there a new design and always skills and decoration tips and tricks for you to use. Not only if you have a business, but if you want to create things for your home. And we're going to teach you the design principles we're using, whether that's color, placement, texture, depth. All of those things are super important in design. So you're going to see us utilize all of that together. Okay, so I've got a nice placement at the top here. Look at this. And then I'm going to come back and work on the bottom now. We're going to come into the bottom. I'm going in between these. You can see here, take a look how I made sure that these are kind of moving up. Nobody's really flat when you go from the side. Do you see how they're coming out? That's really important. That'll help you get better depth on your designs. Now, we are going to put these pieces off to the side. We'll use those after we get our bow in. We need to get our main floral in, and we're using two different things for the main floral. We are using this great, it's like a thistle type bush, and it's beautiful grass. So this is going to be our main floral, and then we've got to put the bees in. But I want to place this before the bow. Okay, so let me place the wreath over here so we get a good idea of how this is looking, top to bottom, and we want to equally place these in. I'm going to take and tear these down. Once that bush is all broke down into these smaller pieces, we're going to start and putting these right where we put the filler flowers. So it's really super easy for you. Just place them right next to it, and then you can bend them where they go a little bit above or a little bit below that. Swirl it in. We're going to go in here. And make sure you got some movement on these. We want these to be in different planes of the design. Let's put 3 at the top. Okay. Popping these right in. Fantastic. Now let's go to the bottom and work down here. And we're gonna have the bow kind of cascading into this section, so don't go too tight into here. We call this the bow zone in design school. That is the transition point for your design. And hold this little guy off because we'll use him in a minute. So we did the bow on another video, and I'll be happy to teach you how to make the bow as well. Oh my gosh, look how cute this is. If you're not into the bees and you don't want the cute part of it, and the bees and the bow is just enough for you, that's fine. So I told you, this is a nice big bow, and you guys, if you're looking for a wreath to make to stock your Etsy shop, these type of designs are great. I've sold thousands, literally thousands of this type of design. And they're fairly quick to manufacture if you're looking for some that are easy, great shop fillers for your Etsy shop. Okay, I cable tied that in nicely. Now go ahead and spread apart those loops. Get these tails going and bring them on down. Just keep bringing them on down. And then I'm going to curl these little ones up right here. Or you could leave them straight. Either way, we've dovetailed them, so either way will work. And then I'm going to curl the little outside ones and bring this one in. Look how cute. Isn't this precious? I love it. I love it. Now, we are not done because we want to add that whimsy. So grab your bees because these guys are going to be flying out of here, and I think they're so precious. So cut these off the big stem, and the nice thing is they're going to cut off into 3 little sections, which is perfect because basically you're going to have one above and one below. And let's take these, spread them apart. Look how cute. Make them kind of go different directions. I think that's fun. Their little wings are moldable, so you can take and make them do fun stuff. And since they're on these curls, you can whip them around. So we're going to use this first one kind of up to the top, above the bow in here. So just tuck the bow out of the way and tuck that in. Let's put a little moss. Oh, stinking cute. Once you hang it up on your door, guys, you can manipulate the bees too to kind of look at you or be tucked in around, however you want. Isn't that precious? Now let's come to the bottom. Let's scoot that up a little bit. Now we're going to go on the bottom. Now on the bottom, I don't love for the bees to be upside down. So what I usually do is once we put it in, we'll just give them a little twist because they're going to all be upside down. And bees can fly in all kind of different directions, but we want to make sure we tuck them in. So I'm going to pull this up a little. Make sure we're getting that in good. There you go. And then I just twist their little heads so they're flying down instead of flying up. Just give them a twist, rotate them around, and then they don't have to be going all the same way. This one could be. It could be coming back. Whatever you prefer. It's so cute. These look like the cutest little bees. Oh my gosh. All right, now we've got those pieces we put aside. And we're gonna work with those right now to finish out these parts. So this bee, I want him to kind of go out here from the outside of the bow to kind of finish out my shaping on this side, right in here. And you're just gonna tuck him in. And then you've got a great shape working around the bow here at the top, okay? Now, the other things we're gonna do are gonna be right in tight to the bow. So let's start off with we have a little bit of greenery left, okay? Pull that aside. And then we have our cute little berry sprays. We have 3 or 4 of these. You're gonna use these in holes. So, because right now I can see a hole right here by that bee. So we're gonna layer that on top of that bee stem, okay? So curl this around. So your last few steps, you're kind of cleaning up. You're cleaning up the mechanics of what's going on here. Look at this. Oh my God, it's so pretty. And move her forward. All right, and let's come to the bottom. Do the same thing. We're gonna run right out of the bottom of the bow. Now, when you do your project here at the end and you're cleaning up, you could find a number of different places you need to put things, okay? They may not necessarily be where my holes are. So that's why I always reserve just a little bit of the supplies for the end, just to double check the holes. You know, 1 or 2 pieces. You can always yank something out and replace it in. But it's a little bit easier to save some and then just pop them in. I'm gonna put this last one in tight to the bow here in the middle. And then we're gonna layer that piece of greenery up in here also. Look how pretty these are. And I love that they're moving up. And make sure you don't squish that bow too much, fluff it out. Okay, now pull this dude down and make it nice and fluffy. Okay, how cute is that? Keep the stem a little long. You gotta get in behind the bow. And we're gonna use this just at the top here. Like the bees are going in the grass. They're trying to get to all those little yellow flowers, get some pollen. And so that creates a little depth, guys. The green in the back, the green in the front. Once again, you know, tying in the depth. The last little bitty thistle in here, trim that stem down. And we're gonna use that either up or down. I'm gonna use it down right in here. So that one will tuck in right behind the bow. And we don't have a single piece of supplies left. We used it all in our wreath. That's something also I'm big on. I don't want to have things left over for my projects. I want to use everything I'm working with, consume it to make something beautiful, just like this. Oh my gosh, look how cute she is. You see her? Oh my goodness. You got to make a wreath like this. Don't be afraid of this big bow. Go way off that smaller wreath base and really expand your horizons. Have fun making this.